Welcome back to another episode of the Canon on the Boomer Bust channel. I'm your host Terry, and today doing a quick review of a non-comic book or superhero movie, and I'm looking at Little Women, directed by Greta Gerwig, starring a big cast: Saoirse Ronan, you got Laura Dern, Meryl Streep, Timothy Chalamet, Florence Pugh, who is now nominated for Best Supporting Actress. So big time Oscar love going for Little Women right now. We know Greta Gerwig was Oscar darling before with Lady Bird, and so definitely one that is getting a lot of buzz and attention. So I finally got to watching it, and it took me a while because it just didn't look like a movie that I wanted to see, but I knew I had to see it for the Oscars, and it turns out kind of what I thought. It just wasn't for me. Not a huge period piece fan unless it's got specific interesting story about it. I don't know that this had an interesting story. It's just really a slice of a life movie when it boils down to it, and that just didn't catch my attention, especially early on. It was kind of fluffy, and then later in the movie it got to a little more dramatic turn, but still the drama in this movie is not much. It's a PG movie. It's a quote-unquote family movie. I liked it for what it was, but just not my cup of tea. It's still something that I think is well made. For the most part, I don't think there's nothing spectacular that jumps out to me technical-wise. I will say the performances, of course, are strong. There's 2 people nominated. Now, about that, I thought the 2 people that were nominated had good performances. But Saoirse Ronan being nominated for this and not Mary Queen of Scots is a travesty to me. It makes no sense. What she had to do in Mary Queen of Scots compared to this is night and day. I don't think it was a very difficult role at all, even though I think she did it well. I would have to sit down and look at a list to say who I would bump her out for as far as nominations, but I just did not see Saoirse Ronan deserving this, and she's becoming a little like her co-star Meryl Streep, where she might just get nominated whenever she's doing so. I'm surprised Meryl Streep didn't get nominated, to be honest with you. Florence Pugh had a very interesting performance where it really hit a switch. So not to really give spoilers, but the movie takes place in 2 different time periods in these people's lives. And you really saw the difference in the younger version of the character and the older version. And I thought it jumped out off screen, and it made me notice her performance. Still wouldn't say Oscar worthy. That's not what I would say personally. But again, really strong performances, good ensemble dynamic. I like it. But yeah, just the story wasn't for me that much. Nothing too interesting happened in my opinion. And honestly, I think the direction, even I know Greta I keep calling her Greta. Greta is Gerwig. Greta got nominated for Best Director, I believe, but to me, the performances are good, but the storytelling, the way they chose to edit and do the movie, jumping back between time periods, I don't think was handled well at all. I think there was some things you could do to help us understand which time period we were in, and I just don't think she did that. And honestly, I didn't think it was a great direction or a great job directing, to be honest. Now, that me putting my cards on the table, I was not a fan of Lady Bird at all either, so you could take that for what you will, but to me, the movie didn't hit me at all. So still, that aside from my personal bias, I give it a 80 out of 100. I give it a B-. Again, I think the performances were done well. I think a lot of the technical parts were good, not great, but a pretty solid movie. And I recognize a lot is going to hit different. It's very much a personal story. Like for me, I feel like Just Mercy was a movie. It had a certain caliber, but because of what it meant to me, it hit harder. And I think this is the same. This is a movie of a certain caliber, but certain people is going to hit harder for them. So, but I'm not giving or taking points away for that. So, but overall, I do think it was 80 out of 100. So go to the comment section. Let me know if you saw it, what you think. If you want to see it, tell me what you looking forward to. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.